Well, joining us now, and appropriately, he's in Australia. What a time for him to be here. Brendan O'Neill, a chief political reporter for Spiked Online. He's over here now with the Centre for Independent Studies, and the IPA have brought you out. Brendan, it's great to see you back in Australia. You've come at the right time, mate. You had a sellout speech in Perth there. You've got a speech on Tuesday night at the CIS. People can still get tickets to that, cis.org.au. That'll be a terrific evening. You've arrived here. What do you make of Australia's reputation in the world, where we have Elon Musk suing the Australian e-safety commissioner because she's determined to protect us all from seeing the truth?
You know, I love coming to Australia. I love Australia, but you guys have gone super woke over the past decade or so. I used to think Australia was immune to this kind of stuff. I used to think Australia, because it's so far away and it has this tradition of just not listening to figures in authority. I thought Australia was immune to all the stuff that's been washing over America and Britain and Europe over the past few years. But it is starting to creep in here, quite sadly. And the cancel culture has taken hold in parts of Australia. The crusade against misinformation, so-called, is a new form of censorship dressed up as providing good, decent information. But, you know, there are also flickers of hope in Australia. I mean, your ballot box revolt against the Voice to Parliament was inspiring. That inspired people around the world. I think it kept the flame of Brexit and populism more broadly. It kept that flame going. So there are flickers of optimism, but I do think, you know, we've got to put a stop sign up now to this woke crusade that is moving like a juggernaut across the Western world.
James.
Well, I want to ask you, though, about that. Do you think that part of the reason why we're seeing such a push by the authorities in this country is because they're rebelling against the people who voted against what they wanted them to during the referendum? I mean, we heard during the referendum all the time, this was about misinformation. If only people knew the truth, they would have voted the right way. Is this the authorities punishing Australians for voting the wrong way?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. We had the exact same thing in Britain after we voted for Brexit. There was suddenly all this talk about misinformation and the need to control the flow of information online, because they couldn't believe that we defied them. We didn't take their advice. Virtually the entire establishment in the UK, the political class, the cultural elite, the business world, they all said to us, you must vote Remain, otherwise this country will go to hell in a handcart. And we didn't believe them. We said, sorry, we're going to vote Brexit. We're going to do our own thing. And because we defied them, they will never forgive us for doing that. And they instituted all these new ideas about controlling the internet, clamping down on misinformation, making sure that our minds are not brainwashed by demagogues, etc. It's because we voted in a way that they didn't like. And we saw similar developments after Americans voted for Trump in 2016. Suddenly there was a huge fear-mongering about the internet and the free flow of information. And we know that the Democrat camp has worked with Silicon Valley to restrict what people can see on the internet. You know, we know they've shadow banned people who were very critical of lockdown. They conspired to ban the Hunter Biden laptop story and to prevent the New York Post from being able to run with that. So censorship is their solution to the fact that ordinary people are no longer listening to them. They can't believe we're thinking for ourselves. And I think we're seeing a similar development in Australia, where they are reprimanding the Australian people for defying the establishment and slapping these new forms of censorship on you because you did your own thing.